Hi, so good afternoon. Hi, this is Ken O from Canton Chambers Lawyers in New Zealand. This is December, okay, today's 12th of December 2018. Like 2018, we start off like a Facebook Live. I think this is our last Facebook Live in 2008, and then we will restart in uh, February in 2019 because in New Zealand, end of year is Christmas holiday start. All of the like a country like a close it. So even though government will close for like early, like at least for 10 to like some 12 days, right? Or like some 2 weeks. Most of our companies are closed down. So we are all closed. And then in early January, we start and then, but like quite busy. So we decide to like today's for last day for our Facebook Live. And then we are going to start in like early February, and then we can start. So, and also we got us some like 86,000 followers on the, like our Facebook, and then please do for follow or like our main page, and then we want to make a target for at least for 100,000 followers or like our main page, and then I do appreciate. Please to click on our main page, follow and then like as well. Okay, thank you. And then today is we are going to do briefly for skilled migrant category. I know skilled migrant category is a main the residence visa application here in New Zealand. Also, like a very complicated of the policy itself, and also when you see the policy, looks like easy, simple. However, if you do in details, it's quite like a complicated, and it's many things for may not understand easily. So, but today we can briefly of the skilled migrant category summary, and then for introduction, and then maybe like in next year we do more talk about for skilled migrant category, right? As I told you earlier, for in New Zealand, we got some big three categories for the residence visa category, temporary visa category. Between the residence and then temporary, we got some work to residence visa category, right? So in a residence visa category, we say for skilled migrant category, and then some business category, and also family category, right? So we are talking to briefly because the time is very limited. So skilled migrant category. In New Zealand, and then we are very a big land here, but our population is very small. So we need more people here, and then we need to skilled people to come, and then for the work for the good business and then good industry, right? So this is very good because like your own country, and then you got a good education over there, you got a good experience there, then you are already for ready to work here in New Zealand. Then we can invite you, and then we can give you some residence visa here in New Zealand. We can. This is good for New Zealand. It's really like some good system, right? So, in New Zealand, we got some small country, and then our population is around 4.8 million so far, and then like a big land, like two islands, and then many industries there, and we need more people to make our business active and alive. And then many young people who got a good education here in New Zealand, and then got some experience, then they leave for overseas to get more experience in a big world because we are island country. So we are always for lack of skilled people. and then all the employers, okay, like crying, or I need my employee, good employee, skilled employee, but many people already left for overseas, and then some people already got a job, and then they are crying, okay, I cannot close down my business, and then I need a good people. So like in such a case, the immigration department set up for a migration program for like a good skilled people come to New Zealand. Okay, so skilled migrant categories are mainly targeting for good individual basis, right? If you got a good experience, and if you got a good education, and then we need you to work here in New Zealand. This is the basic idea. So we need to make an assessment based on for a very objective way. So okay, if the immigration officer said, okay, you are some handsome, I'll give you some residence visa. You are some beautiful, I give some residence visa. This is a very like not a good standard. So we make all the good standards for any people can understand. So this is a point system. If you are like good, and then more value, then get some more point, and you got a more points there. So we get some point system, and then if you meet some point, and then you are qualified for apply for the residence visa here in New Zealand. Okay, so major point is for your age. Your age is like, if you are younger, then you can work for the longer term in New Zealand companies or New Zealand economy systems. And then if you're younger, then you can get a more point. But if you're old enough, then you don't need it. You don't need it. You are not being needed in New Zealand anymore. So age limit is for 55 years old. If you're over 55 years old, then your validity is expired, right? So you are now more like some the value for skilled workers here in New Zealand, right? So that means I'm not talking for any not value for skilled workers, for the immigration purpose. And when you come to New Zealand as a residence visa, in New Zealand government will like responsible for your whole life until you die. That means more burden to spend to you than you contributed to New Zealand. So that means for age limits of 55. If you over 55, and this, you are disqualified for skilled migrant category, right? And then the other one is for like your qualification. If you study higher degree, higher level, then you got a more value. For example, master degree or PhD degree, doctor degree, then you got a more point. And if you study for like a postgraduate diploma, means for between bachelor degree to like a master degree, some the postgraduate business postgraduate diploma for this is a level 8, and then you got a point there. And if you got some bachelor degree, means for university degree, then so you got a point there. But if you study for less than degree, means for diploma, level 5 or level 6, and then you got some less point. And if you study for like a certificate, 1 year certificate, you got some less points there. So if you study more, and then means for you are more qualified for the point, right? And then the other one is for your experience, right? If you got a more experience, this is good for New Zealand, because when the new people start to work, and then take a time to like a trained and got a experience. But if you already spent more time in that industry, then you got already trained, you got already experienced. Then so in New Zealand, like it doesn't have to train you anymore. Then so you can come straight to start to work. So you got a more experience, and then more skilled, like more value. So we can give some more points. So every 2 years a band, and there's the point is increase, right? So you can get some maximum 10 years, over 10 years or more, and then you got the same points, right? if you got some 2 years, 1 year to 2 year, and then starting point, right? And also, major point is for if you got a job offer here in New Zealand, then you can get some points there. The reason why we introduce for job offer is that before many people come to New Zealand as the residence visa holder, and then thereafter they couldn't get a job, and then they go to for government department. Okay, I don't have any job, so please give me for unemployment benefit, and then this is no good because immigration department invite you or like give the residence visa to come to New Zealand and then contribute more of like in New Zealand economy, but you don't do any work. You cannot you cannot work because employer like cannot give any job. So that means other taxpayers work very hard and then pay to for your unemployment benefit. This is a no good. So New Zealand government changed the policy. Once you are well settled or ready to settle or like a potential to settle, then this is good for come to New Zealand. So they introduced for job offer, and there's the major points there, right? So this is like a four, like a major, right? Age for your qualification, your experience, your job offer here in New Zealand. This is a major point, and some bonus points there. And I'm not talking to you for a bonus point here, right? So technically, then if you got a overseas experience, like age is under 39 years old, and then if you got some university degree, bachelor degree or higher, if you got around for purely overseas experience only, then for 6 years or more, right? And then if you got a job offer here in New Zealand, then you are usually qualified. However, if you got over like some 4 years or more experience and then come to New Zealand, if you work here in New Zealand more than 1 year, and then will be also qualified, right? So most important factor is for your English level. So skilled migrant category is on the concept that you come and then you find a job, work as an employee of the business. That means you need a good English to like communicate with other English-speaking people, because in New Zealand is for English-speaking countries. So in a skilled migrant category, you need a higher English requirement. This is IELTS 6.5, so quite high. I'm not sure if I can sit the English exam, then I can pass for 6.5 or not. In any way, in New Zealand, like quite good high English requirements. Okay, so this is a basic summary of the skilled migrant category. And then I know for there must be many questions over there, and then we can get some questions and then like answers. And then, okay, Dan,
Yes.
there are many questions
Yes,
over
sir.
there, and then you can ask me, then I can give you some answers.
Sure,
right?
sir. The question number one, you have mentioned about the IELTS. And is there any countries that are exempted to take IELTS when applying in here? Could you mind to tell us those countries are not required for IELTS, or they still, even though they are native speaker, they are entitled to take IELTS?
All right, okay. In New Zealand, if you are born and then work and study in 5 countries, and then that people waived for English exam. This is already English-speaking country for America, United States, America,
Mhm.
and then UK,
Mhm.
and then Canada, and then Ireland, and then like some Australia, right? If you are a citizen of this country and then finish for high school or work for like more than, I think maybe 5 years, and then your English is waived. Means that for even though you are some Canada citizen, like a not born, and then maybe like some grant for you meet the requirement and you got the citizen, but you have to show for minimum 5 years experience, then can be waived. But only for Canadian citizen or American citizen itself is not exempt, right?
Mm.
So, and also if you come to New Zealand and then if you study of like a master degree here in New Zealand, or if you study in a bachelor degree here in New Zealand, and then bachelor degrees are at least 2 years or more course study, and then got a bachelor degree and then master degree or like some PhD degree, and so you don't need an English requirement. And also, if you study for level 8 requirement, then so you don't need an English requirement as well. Yeah. So that means also, yeah, this is what I understand. Yeah.
For those are countries that are not you mentioned, how about those? When they take English, how long does it take, or the validity of this test that they can use?
Okay, except for these 5 countries, all other people, even though you speak English in your country, then so you have to provide for English test requirement. English is for usually the 5 English exam will be accepted here in New Zealand, right? Okay. Yeah, this one is for IELTS. This is like English. Okay, how can I say? In UK based for English exam, and then the PT Pearson test, and then Cambridge, and then TOEFL, and then OET. These are 5 exams, 5 English exams are like accepted here in New Zealand, right? Yeah. Then also other country people has to sit the English exam and then provide for this English result. And then once you set the English exam, and then this is only for valid for 2 years. If that exam expire 2 years, and you have to set the English exam, and then you have to provide a new one. But I think this is a little like some funny. And then even though language is for your basic for like long-term, how can I? This is skill, right? And then. But even though even 2 years, and then you need to test your brain again, right? So after 2 years, and you cannot trust your brain, and then we have to sit the English exam. Then you have to provide for new English certificate. That means that once you sit the English exam, then and this is only for valid for 2 years, and then yeah.
For how about those who are family who will migrating in New Zealand? Those their partners and dependent are also required to take English?
Yeah, older people who is over than 16 years old, they need an English requirement, right? However, for principal applicant, this is an essential requirement. You have to pass the English exam in advance, means like a pre-requirement for your English exam. However, if you are dependent family, means for like a partner or spouse of the principal applicant, and then you need for English requirements like a little lower, like some IELTS 5. And if your child is over 16 years old, and then they have to sit the English exam, and then IELTS requirements like a 5, right? So that means if your family member over 16 years old, they need to sit the English exam and then has to provide. However, for as a dependent the family member, then this is English is not an essential requirement. For if your English is not good enough, and then you can purchase of the English tuition fee like some coupon, right? And then you pay the English tuition fee to the government in advance, and then within 5 years, and then you can use that for amount of like you pay, and then you can use it in any language school in New Zealand. You can spend that money to study of your English. This is a requirement, right? So that means principal applicant, you have to pass that English exam before your application is made. However, if you are family member and then if you do not pass that English requirement, and then you can pay the English tuition fee to the government, and then later on you can use that amount to study your English in like the language school in New Zealand, right? So that means if you are a family member and then over 16 years old, but if you are not very confident of your English, then work very hard, make money, and then pay the money, right? Then that's fine. Okay.
So, sir, may we request to kindly, because our Facebook viewers, they have some little bit question from Abu Bakar, Chat Muhar Pabna. Dear
Okay.
sir, I am Abu Bakar. Want to job now. New Zealand work permit visa temporary, and work may not IELTS exam certificate. May not come to you. I'm really confused about your English, but he haven't taken any exam, and he's now here in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. I don't know whether you are in New Zealand or not, but in any way, your question is that as a temporary work visa, whether you need an English exam or not, right? So if my understanding is correct, then I'll give some answer. For technically, temporary visa is for your visa term is for fixed. Like that means after your visa expired, and so you are supposed to go back to your own country. That means you don't need any the care permanently by the New Zealand government. That means for all the temporary visa, doesn't need any English requirement. Means for any like work visa, but I mean student visa, then the study requirement, you need some English requirement. So like a work visa or visitor visa doesn't need any English requirement. However, if you apply for the residence visa, and then so you need an English requirement, that means at least for some English to survive here in New Zealand, you need some English requirement. Also, government will think then you need to be permanently care required by government. If there's any communication issue there, and then this is a big trouble. So that means at least of your family member, the principal applicant should be a good English for the residence visa. There's a reason why the principal applicant need a high English requirement. Okay, so like Abu Bakar, okay, for your temporary visa, means for work visa application, you don't need the English requirement. Come here if you are gonna communicate, communicatable like English, like a workable English level, will be fine. If your employers for your same country people, you don't need an English for only for your country language for communicate work, that's fine, right? Yeah.
So maybe request me we can go down and then let us. Okay. Mr. Rizwan Mohammed say you have a great job, sir. Your explanation is very clear. Wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you, Rizwan, and then Mohammed. Thank you so much for your very kind. And then hello, Maxwell.
Sir, may we have some questions here that might be very interesting for our viewers? What are those common mistakes to avoid this kind of denial kind of application? Can you advise them, sir?
Okay, this is actually for like a technical matter, and then many of like there are some statistics, even though case handled by for immigration advisor and then immigration the lawyer, around like some 26% are declined, right? That means for all the paperwork are good, but like actual like a processing, actual assessment time, and your case will be declined. Major reason of decline is for your job title and then your job description does not match each other. That means for in New Zealand, we need some skilled people, skilled, experienced people. Key word of here is skilled. We can say there are many jobs. Some is for skilled job, some is not non-skilled job. I explained for those one many times before, but I can say, tell you again. Skilled job means skilled means for not easily trained, not easily for like experienced, educated. This is a skilled. For example, if you got some any diploma degree qualification, means that for at least 1 year, 2 years, 3 years for study, then you can get a qualification, you can get the knowledge here. If you got any bachelor degree for like a highly engineering or any like some science or any like some that kind of for area study, you need long years of study, then you can get a good knowledge and then get some degree there. And also means for like a skill is at least for many years for time to train or like some experience, right? So like a minimum 3 years experience or minimum 5 years experience, then this is all skilled, right? However, non-skilled means that for easily trained, right? For example, like a waiter or waitress, or like in a kitchen for like some kitchen hand, and you don't need any much of the training required. You don't have to train for as a waiter waitress for like about 6 months training, then you work as a waitress, right? For example, maybe like 1 day or like some 2 days for train, like you do for like this, and then you can do for the work as a waitress or like a waiter, right? And then in a kitchen hand for you can just like a simply okay, you can do like this, and then you can start as a like a kitchen hand for this kind of thing. For you don't need any big training program, right? And then for simply for easily like a trained by like a 1 hour or 2 hours, maybe like a half day or like maximum 1 week train, and then you can start work straight. This is a non-skilled position. So in New Zealand, for non-skilled position is not required for. So that means for if you got a job as a non-skilled position, you are not so qualified for apply for the residence visa in under the skilled migrant category, right? So that means for a skilled job is very important.
Sir, I might be, we take the opportunity, since this is our last Facebook and it will be resumed by next year. Maybe we should greet our viewers who are continuously watching us from our viewers.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, and then Amir, and then all the thank you, and then Ubrai, and then thank you for that, and then okay, 장미애 씨 반가워요, and then 거인 쌤 반가워요, and then many people like John Tina say hi. It's nice to see you again. And okay, this is our last Facebook Live in 2018, and then this is end of year. So we are going to start our office Christmas break for work until 21st, and then 22nd officially a Christmas break, and then my office will close like officially two weeks, and then
January.
Yeah, so like 7th of January where we are going to officially open, but some staffs are not coming back to office like 7th, and then some people come back for 14th, including me, and then I'm coming back to office for 14th, and then I'm sorry that I work very hard for this year. I need a break, right? And I think you all got some work very hard, so you need a break.
For sure,
yeah?
they will miss you, sir.
Yeah. So then Facebook Live will like start around very early February, because like January is yeah, we are also like very busy. So we can see you next next year February. Please do like our main page, and then we will get we are targeting for 100,000 follower like our main page. This is by end of this year. Please do for like us. And then also, if you have any questions and then any inquiry, just send the visa apply at canton.co.nz. You send for any inquiry here. Or if you are really skilled people who wants to come to New Zealand, especially for any chef, nurse, and teacher, and then please send your CV or inquiry, then so we can help you with the matter. Okay. Also, we are doing some construction area, some carpenters and the builders. We got many jobs here. Then more than 3 years experience, and please to apply. Okay. Thank you so much, and then have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye bye.
Happy holidays.